GM, everyone, and a happy new year. I'm Peter from Nearweek, the official weekly Near Protocol newsletter, and we're back with another Near Town Hall to kick off 2025. If you didn't know already, Near is the blockchain for AI, powering the user-owned internet. It's a unified crypto user experience, aka it's been chain abstracted, it's powered by decentralized AI, and it runs on one of the most resilient and scalable blockchain infrastructures, the Near protocol. With that said, let's head over to our first presenter. As always, this is, and we're bringing you an update from Ilya, the CEO of the foundation. Ilya, I'm going to bring you on stage. Let me know when to change the slides. It's yours.
All right, thank you. Well, hopefully everyone had an amazing new year, recharge the batteries and ready for this crazy 2025. I'm really excited kind of for what's cooking in the ecosystem. Today, I'm just gonna give you a quick just look back with some commentary. And I know people have been asking about kind of the structure of the foundation and some of the ecosystem nodes that are kind of working together. So I'll give a quick overview of that as well. But if you have any questions on top of that, we can continue that conversation on Twitter. So if you go to the next slide, I think kind of one of the main metrics that we've been looking at, for the past few years have been, how much active users are engaging with the blockchain. And we had an amazing growth from 7 million to 40 million monthly active, from 1 to 4 million daily actives. And I want to note that, we've started investing into this back in 2022. And so it takes some time to actually start seeing kind of the pickup and growth in these metrics. And so I'll kind of refer to that when we talk about DeFi. So again, it's important to understand that what this signifies is the distribution, right? This is actually, users that are kind of engaging with Near, which may be, chain abstracted for them, but it allows to effectively provide applications and experiences for these users through kind of these applications that are using them. Now, if you are building an application and want to get distribution right, you do need to engage with the applications that have these users, but kind of the biggest benefit is this massive distribution platform that Near has. Okay, so next slide. So the kind of top 3 applications that been driving this are KaiKai, which is effectively e-commerce and loyalty program that's embedded directly on Android by Xiaomi and Oppo and a few other manufacturers. They themselves had an amazing year. I'll let them kind of describe more how their growth has been, but they've been one of the main drivers for this daily active users. We have Sweat, which has been growing as well, kind of engaging their users in different ways and kind of expected to go fully multi-chain with chain signatures in coming months. And we had Hot, which is the Telegram wallet, right? They launched February last year, and since then they've done over 1 billion transactions on chain. They have $100 million dollars worth of value in users' wallets and 30 million kind of wallets created. They are across, I think, 6 or 7 chains already, and expanding beyond that. They support obviously kind of fully chain abstracted interaction with applications across all those chains. If you're using Ton chain app with Hot, you're actually interacting through Near. And same, if you're moving money from Solana to Base, you're using Near. So it's really kind of an exemplar of this chain abstracted future where the Near applications kind of with this distribution is sitting on top of interacting with all of these different blockchains and applications. So again, if you are building an application and looking for distribution, these are really your kind of crown jewels of Web3 that are providing massive distribution. Obviously, this is not kind of whale-based user base, but it is a massive user basis to engage for many applications. Next slide. Now, in 2024, we had amazing kind of technology advancements. We obviously had Nightshade V2 launch, which has been kind of in the works for a while, really enabling that continuous scale. And, Bowen will talk more about kind of some of the things they're planning to continue. But this is monumental achievement. We had near chain signatures launch, which is enabling all of this multi-chain experiences that we're talking about. We have turned Near into EVM wallet compatible network. So you can actually connect with an EVM wallet like MetaMask, Rainbow, even Phantom. And it effectively knows how to use those EVM addresses. This also means that you can airdrop the EVM addresses on Near and do all kinds of different things with that. And Near Intense is enabling these global markets, which is applicable for blockchain, with multi-chain trading, and applicable to AI. Next slide. Now we had improved on one of the core DeFi metrics, which is TVL and volume, but definitely we haven't had like an amazing year here. So I'll kind of really acknowledge that. But again, a lot of the building blocks went in. We've fixed a lot of bridges, a lot of kind of tooling been fixed. We had Junalytics launch. So a lot of building kind of pieces that really needed for kind of striving ecosystem. But at the same time, as we've been investing in this multi-chain infrastructure, kind of the way we're gonna even see this growth is gonna be different. So if you go to the next slide. A lot of the partnerships and kind of next generation of DeFi that we've done is really about creating this chain abstracted DeFi applications, right? So we have a number of Bitcoin applications, which are actually, many of them are launching in January. And so Proximity kind of saying this is a BTC January on Near. We have a number of kind of lending markets, and leverage. I'm really excited about the Prime Brokerage, Satoshi Port, that just announced a few days ago. And obviously we have partnership with Infinex as a front end, Libra to bring, the kind of securities on chain, Truefin to have kind of institutional staking, Frax with stablecoin, right? So really kind of expanding in all of these different directions. But again, it's like investment in this, like last year, like it takes time to actually mature for projects to build, to get security audited and actually launch. So I'm really excited to see all of this coming to fruition now. Next slide. So the other big thing that happened, right, is kind of continuous decentralization of our ecosystem. So Pagoda was the original Near Inc. that has developed the protocol and a lot of tooling around it, and was kind of a big player in the ecosystem. But at the same time, it became kind of very unclear, what company this is, what's its responsibility, because it was doing too many things. And so we've had a very, I would say, successful transition of Pagoda to more focused companies, right? Near One is probably kind of the most visible with developing core protocol and chain signatures. We have Valhalla Security, kind of security provider, DevHub, some of the people kind of been working out of Pagoda there, Templar, Near AI, Sig Network, and others, as well as a number of ecosystem projects like Meteor, Fastnear, Aurora, got contracts for running critical infrastructure instead of Pagoda. And so, like, to me, that's actually been one of the big projects that the team have executed really well, because this has been, like in most of the ecosystems, there's a labs and it kind of continues there and being kind of a single point of failure. And now there's kind of a number of ecosystem participants that are working together to push the ecosystem forward, and really have focused teams which are, have clear responsibilities instead of kind of have this kind of complex structure. Next slide. So one of the big thing obviously has been is establishing Near as blockchain for AI. And there's a lot kind of to unpack, and I've talked about it in previous town halls, but it's really important to understand that AI is this fundamental kind of platform change, platform shift. It is, from my perspective, the last platform that we'll see, because everything else will be built on top of it. And kind of what blockchain for AI really means is this is the place where if AI is your front end, blockchain kind of the back end, Near is this back end for all of this AI innovation that's happening. Now, it's there's a lot of noise and things going on in the kind of in broader Web3 ecosystem, and so it's always exciting to see like interesting projects, but a lot of them are just kind of meme coins was a voice, but it kind of the core projects that are building. If we go to the next slide, there's a lot of different folks who are kind of contributing to this bigger vision that we're working across in different ways to really build this kind of view where it is competitive and actually transformative from how traditionally the AI is done in centralized companies. And I think it's like I keep getting asked by people because in crypto talks about AI most of the time. AI doesn't talk about crypto, right? And I think the transformation will come from some of these projects actually launching really powerful products that are useful for for AI companies, and they can directly engage with them and use them. And so we'll have Fala later today talking like things like that are actually enabling novel kind of product or innovation. And so that's going to be how we're going to keep integrating more into the traditional AI ecosystem. And then on the other side, kind of the intents and like this global market interactions that I talk about are really going to enable how we connect all these agents together to actually execute work for us. Instead of right now, they just like running on somebody's server and posting stuff. So there's a lot of work to do. Like we're definitely not anywhere close with these things actually working and being competitive to. But this is actually extremely exciting. And again, fundamentally important that we have an alternative to closed source AI. And that alternative is, provides you privacy, provides you really good product for people to use. And I think we have kind of the components and building blocks to really enable that. All right, next slide. So there's a bunch of questions around organization. So just to give you like a quick refresher as we're coming into this year, we go to the next slide. So we have a Near Foundation, which has a Near Foundation Council. This is a Swiss structure, kind of requirement to oversee the Swiss Foundation. We have 4 members on the board right now, and we are looking to have a 5th member to join as a House of Stake representative. So as House of Stake actually goes through the launch process, gets a set of delegates, these delegates can then select a member to join the Near Foundation Council to really connect this to different kind of components of the governance of the Near ecosystem. So I'm really excited to kind of see this through and really get kind of representative of the stakeholders to also be on the board. Next slide. So the other part is, the Near Foundation org itself. We have kind of, you can think, operations, which is finance, legal people. So Chris Donovan as COO is running that team. And, Swiss Foundation has a lot of important financial legal representations. Obviously, protecting the ecosystem is one of them, and managing the treasury. So it's extremely important function. We have marketing and market success. We have growth and founder success, as well as product. So those are kind of main functions that are run out of Foundation. Foundation does not have any product development itself and doesn't do any development. All of it is done by ecosystem nodes and various kind of teams and companies in the ecosystem. So kind of the Horizon Accelerator runs out of Founder Success, with Jared being kind of a big driver of that. And then, Harshit and David Norris are kind of working across different aspects of growth and partnerships and bringing projects, as well as kind of running experiments on how to accelerate adoption of Near ecosystem. Now, it's important to note, I think this is the smallest foundation ever been. We've been pretty constant size over 2024. We're probably going to bring in a few more people as we kind of really focusing on this blockchain for AI. But in general, foundation is pretty small relatively to many other, both comparative foundations as well as other organizations that we're working on. Next slide. Now, the more important is actually all the ecosystem that we have, right? It's not like foundation is there to kind of really bootstrap this ecosystem and kind of provide support and help to the projects. But the nodes are the ones who are actually pushing forward all the different aspects of the ecosystem. So one of the important aspects is nodes is infrastructure committee. So they actually had a blog post, I think, end of the year, kind of outlining some of the things they're going to be working on. It really is the kind of coordination mechanism for different infrastructure projects and public goods funding, kind of tech funding in the ecosystem, having representatives from other nodes effectively as a committee to decide where to invest and what projects to support. And obviously, you can never satisfy everyone, but I think we've transitioned to kind of a lot more open structure, right? It is done through the kind of public process in Treasury. We have done the RFP process for Pagoda kind of restructuring so that, various projects were kind of auctioned off to different participants to take on. DevHub, as I mentioned, is the developer support and ecosystem and kind of tooling development. So they are engaging a lot of contributors to build various tooling. Near itself has over 100 different kind of tools that we maintain. This is SDKs, APIs in different languages, CLIs, and kind of all kinds of various things that are really important for ecosystem, but need maintainers. And so DevHub at any different time can be engaging like 30 to 60 different external contributors part-time maintaining these tools. We have NearPrime, which serves as operations and service. As we have more and more of this ecosystem nodes, there will be a lot of overhead if each one had finance and people operations and HR and all of these other things. And so NearPrime really serves as a kind of common provider. It's not required, but some of the nodes choose to use it. Proximity, which many of you may have been familiar, have been kind of changing its focus over past year. They focused a lot on chain signature, kind of BD and R&D. And so starting this year, starting last quarter, I guess, or even before, they focused a lot more on chain signatures with Bitcoin specifically. And so that's why they're pushing this kind of Bitcoin launch wave that's happening right now on Near. Near one I mentioned as well. We have Valhalla Security, a security provider. We have Near AI, which is contributing to kind of this AI OpenAI stack development. And we have a lot of other nodes that are contributing in different ways, right? Fastnear doing a lot of work. Obviously, Aurora is contributing, building intents. Even Slime is contributing in many different ways. So the thing is, like, this ecosystem is continue decentralizing, continue growing. There's a lot of pieces of this, and I'm also excited to see House of Stake kind of becoming prominent node to do more and more kind of capital allocation and distribution. And in general, a lot of these nodes should be funded by House of Stake going forward. I think that's all on my side. So I really appreciate it. Hope this gives you kind of some understanding on how things are structured right now. And obviously, we continue learning, continue figuring things out. I'll be the one acknowledging there was a lot of mistakes made at different stages, but we're not building a traditional company. There's no blueprint how this should work, and we're all learning here. So I'm really excited for the next kind of coming year and what we're going to bring to the world. Thank you.
I was muted. I just wanted to say thank you for that update, Ilya. And in case anyone has any input or updates, please reach out to Ilya on Twitter. I even saw Chris Donovan post his Calendly on Twitter as well. He's the COO of Near Foundation, and he's also very willing to listen to any input that the community might have. So keep up the good work, fellas. I'm gonna bring Bowen Wang, who runs Near One, the core protocol team, and I know that, as always, Bowen has been hard at work in December with Near Core 2.4 going live. The mic is yours, sir.
Hey everyone, great to be here. I want to talk a bit about what we've done in the past couple of months and also what's coming up in Q1. And so we did the Near Core 2.4 release. It is a release that's packed with many different features. I think one important feature, we revamped how a node synchronizes with mainnet. Not only it is much faster now, but also there's no reliance on any centralized services. It's entirely done through the peer-to-peer network. I think Fastnear has already tested this, and even if you sync all the shards on mainnet, which there are 6, it takes about 7 hours to sync to the tip of the chain. I think it's a great result to witness. We've also done a few optimizations. So most importantly, on the state witness size optimizations, this largely addressed the bottleneck that we occasionally hit on mainnet due to state witness size limitations, and as a result, throughput also increases on shards that sometimes get congested. There are also some smaller fixes regarding the congestion control parameters and some gas costs for certain host functions. Now looking ahead at what we're going to achieve for the protocol development in the next say couple months. So we have Near Core 2.5 release coming up, and most importantly, we're going to increase the number of shards from 6 to 8. So we actually re-implemented the resharding mechanism because the old one was not working after we launched 9.2.0. It was not compatible with the stateless validation design. So we had to implement the new way of doing resharding. And this is the first time that we will split 2 shards in the same release. This is both to increase the throughput on mainnet, but also to verify that the new resharding mechanism works well, and then we can doing more shard splits and getting to more shards on mainnet. And there's also some other state witness size optimization work that will further improve the throughput on mainnet as well. Yeah, I think that's the update from me. Yeah, thanks everyone.
Thank you so much for coming today, Bowen. Keep pushing what the protocol is capable of. It's truly impressive. Next up, we have Aurora, and December was very packed with updates from the Aurora team. And on that note, I want to give a big warm welcome to the Turbo community. And now I'm going to go ahead and bring Alex to the stage. Alex, is your mic working?
Okay.
Hey, I'm going to add the presentation to the stage now.
Yeah.
You know what to do.
Thank you very much. And if you would be able to add Johnny to the stage too, that will be super nice. And while you're doing this, I would like to say hello to everyone. And I'm sorry for my poor connection today, so I'm not able to show you my face. But I would like to remind everybody that the Aurora is a network of the virtual chains. And this new concept that was developed here in the NEAR ecosystem with the approach that we have been using for development of the EVM compatible solution, or the Aurora mainnet on top of NEAR. And now these virtual chains are marching forward, and they are delivering more and more functionality together with the great projects. So Peter, if you're able to add Johnny from Turbo on the stage, maybe then Johnny, you can talk a little bit about Turbo and what we have launched just before Christmas on the next slide.
Sure. Just want to thank you for having us here. We have launched the Turbo Chain along with Aurora. One of the great benefits of this is that if you build on the Turbo Chain, we can get you a lot of exposure on the marketing end with Turbo and provide you with a big audience and user engagement. We have people actively building on the Turbo Chain now. Some of the people we don't know who they are. It's a good thing to reach out to Turbo or to Aurora if you want to build on the Turbo Chain, so then we can kind of help guide you, support you, and also provide you with that user engagement and the marketing in that sense. In terms of the technical aspect of that, I can probably leave that to you. But a little background on Turbo. Turbo was the first AI-generated meme coin, built on a small little budget. We're completely community driven. There's no real team other than the community that comes in at times, and we have members who work hard, and then people kind of come and go, but we are very dedicated and really smart people involved with Turbo, I must say. It's been an amazing journey through 2024, and we're really looking forward to 2025. We're really happy to team up with Aurora, NEAR Protocol, and yeah, looking towards the future. I just want to give a quick story about how this all started. That we were at DevCon and we got contacted by Aurora, and we sat down and had a cup of coffee, and yeah, the Turbo Chain launched, and the community is really happy about it. Like I said, anyone who wants to build on the Turbo Chain, really, we can help you launch your project. We can help marketing. We can help with user engagement. And in terms of the technical support, I can leave that to you to talk more about the tech aspect. Thank you.
Yeah, Johnny. Can we go please to the next slide? So yes, indeed, the Turbo Chain was launched. It utilizes the technical and the core stack of the Aurora that was developed. And Turbo Chain signifies the first AI meme coin blockchain with a vision to empower digital artists. As Johnny was mentioning, there are lots of creators that are starting to work on the Turbo Chain. The Aurora mainnet NFT marketplace, Endemic, has already deployed their NFT marketplace on top of Turbo Chain, and artists now are starting to populate these NFT marketplace with fresh new NFTs. There are lots of plans for launches directly on the Turbo Chain, including DEX and Launchpad, AI agents marketplace, and new meme coins and project tokens. And Turbo Chain, from my point of view, is a great example of these two powerful things that are coming together: NEAR as a blockchain for AI, and the technology pieces, these different pieces of technology that are allowing AI projects like Turbo to launch something new, something great, like a completely new virtual chain. Next slide, please. And we are actually not stopping here. The plans for the next 2025 year for Aurora is actually to launch 1,000 virtual chains. And we believe that this is actually quite possible, just because of the state of the technology that is here. Besides Turbo Chain being a flagship chain, already there are multiple chains that are launched, including Berry Chain, T-Pro Network, Arium. There are at least 5 that are going to be announced within the following couple of weeks. All of these chains, they are bringing more liquidity, more users, more developers into the wider Near ecosystem. And these projects are actually enhancing each other, because the virtual chains are working on top of Near as a common fabric for all of these projects. Now these projects are able to interconnect with each other. They can cross-call, in technical terms, each other, which means that they are now becoming composable. They are now creating a network effect in between all of these applications, which means that every single project that is launched on the later stage is not only able to use all of the benefits and all of the products that are already working on top of the Near blockchain, but it also in turn enhances all of these products back. So that's the core of the virtual chains, and this is what is now available to everybody. I also would like to mention one additional thing that we have not been communicating before, and I think that this is very, very important. As of right now, we also, Aurora Labs also no longer charge anything to deploy your virtual chains, allowing builders to focus on what they're good at, which is creating a great product. With the ability to customize your chains to suit your requirements, whether that be connecting DEXs, taxes, or controlling your gas fees, it has never been easier, faster, or cheaper to launch on Near with Aurora Cloud. And it is as simple as, it is super simple to say that, just because there is nothing cheaper than absolute zero. And next slide. And now when you're already excited about this piece of tech, I can tell you how you're able to interact with it. So if you're a founder of a crypto project, and if you're ambitious enough to be willing to launch your own chain, you can just come to Aurora Labs and launch your chain right away in an extremely short amount of time. I'm talking about days, with all of the tools available, including integration with centralized exchanges, Oracle solution, the whole DeFi, and not only just DeFi, but also multi-chain DeFi that is powered by the Near Intense protocol, being available at the first day of the work of your virtual chain. Besides that, if you are not looking at launching your own chain, there are a bunch of other projects that have already launched their chains, right? We've mentioned several of them, including Turbo Chain. You're able to build new applications on top of these chains and plug into these communities and enjoy working within these communities and enjoy the distribution of these communities. And in case your company or your project is the infrastructure project, and you think that your solution might be beneficial to the Near ecosystem as a whole, as well as to individual virtual chains, you're also able to connect with us and integrate with the Aurora virtual chain stack, so that all of the virtual chains, all of the builders who are using the virtual chains, they will have an exposure to your product, and they will be able to use your product absolutely the same way, for example, how virtual chains are using Intense right here, right now. So there are lots of opportunities to engage here, and 2025 is going to be a pretty exciting year for the infrastructure solutions on top of the Near protocol. And I'm especially looking forward to all of the developments that are happening on Turbo Chain. I really, really enjoy this community. Thanks, Peter, and we're going to wrap up here.
Thank you so much, Alex. Yeah, super excited to see all of the innovation on the projects coming to Aurora, latest Turbo, and then been noticing Berry AI getting some good traction too. So very curious to hear what is coming up. Next up, we got Kendall from Proximity, and as Ilya already mentioned, on Near it's BTC January, and I believe, Kendall, you're here to tell us much more about it all. So please take it away.
Yeah, absolutely. Next slide, please. Awesome. So yeah, as a few people have mentioned now, there are quite a few projects that have been building really interesting applications on top of Bitcoin using Near and chain signatures. So we've kicked off a month of content, really month plus. It'll probably actually go through February of launches, kind of educational pieces, examples, developer tooling to really show what's possible using Near and using Bitcoin, and ideally solving some really key user problems. Next slide, please. So the goal here is really for us is to showcase that Near can actually be used as the app layer for Bitcoin. You can think of this as the assets live on Bitcoin, in this case, Bitcoin, runes, ordinals, this entire ecosystem that's like popped up over the last 18 months. But there's still a lack of programmability and state storage. And so that's where Near, thanks to chain signatures, can effectively act as this smart contract layer or this application layer for Bitcoin. Next slide, please. So what does this actually look like in practice? Well, users are going to be able to use any Bitcoin wallet that they currently have, even some of the more traditional ones like Electrum, or some of the newer ones, Unisat, OKX, Xverse, in order to interact with these applications. They will only need BTC if they want. They'll be able to pay gas fees in BTC. They'll be able to borrow against this BTC. They can swap this BTC for runes or other assets, or even assets on other chains like Solana, but they don't necessarily have to. They'll be able to deposit their Bitcoin assets directly into apps. There'll be no bridging, no explicit bridging, no needing to get a different wallet. They'll just be able to deposit straight into a lending protocol with their Bitcoin, borrow against it. They can borrow USDC and USDT, which would be new for them. That's not really currently possible on any of these major kind of different Bitcoin application layers. And they'll also be able to settle transactions at near block time. Massive improvement, experience improvement. Next slide, please. For developers, there's three major pieces of the puzzle that are now live. Satoshi Protocol is going live very soon, in the next week or so. So there's a Bitcoin smart contract library. What this means is that developers can actually compose Bitcoin transactions, serialize them, and then also sign this transaction all from within a smart contract, making it very trust minimized. This will also support multiple UTXOs. It'll support things like runes, and eventually even ordinals and more complex transactions. Satoshi Protocol, which is out of the Rev team, has been developing Bitcoin wallet support and also the ability to use Bitcoin for gas, in addition to being able to directly deposit your Bitcoin into applications that are ultimately built on Near. But again, for the user, this is completely abstracted. It just feels like Bitcoin to them, just faster, cheaper, easier to use, and advanced functionality. And then there's also Near Intense, which is not limited to Bitcoin by any means, but is actually, I would say right now, pretty much the best way to swap from several different chains to Bitcoin: Solana, Ethereum, Base, even now XRP, Doge. So quite a powerful primitive. Ultimately, I think this is going to be one of the most important ways that users move between Bitcoin derivatives on different chains and native Bitcoin itself. Next slide. And we have quite a few upcoming launches. This is actually just a small subset, as Ilya mentioned. Satoshi Port has announced themselves as well, which is super exciting. Infinex will also be supporting Bitcoin in a big way. But we've got lending protocols that will allow users to borrow the native stablecoins against their native Bitcoin, and even probably some of the Bitcoin LSTs. We've got a team called RuneMine who's building what I think will be the first true runes launchpad that's actually usable. We think there's a lot of excitement around runes, but the user experience has just been so impossible. I think it's actually really dampened the enthusiasm in that ecosystem, and we expect that these teams are really going to be able to reverse that. We've got Bitcoin-backed stablecoins. BitHive is building an expansion of Babylon, where you'll be able to use Bitcoin for much more flexible restaking conditions, not just to secure chains, but also to secure all the type of things we've seen in the EigenLayer ecosystem, which I think is going to be exciting because Bitcoin really is the strongest collateral of any cryptocurrency by a pretty wide margin. We expect that to continue. And then Atlas has been building for quite some time and is building a very excited, but probably the first non-custodial Bitcoin liquid staking token, because you do need something like this decentralized MPC solution that Chain Signatures offers to really do that, and also a yield platform. So this is just a snippet. Expect to see these launches kicking off in the next week or so, and then continuing, really through the end of February, if not beyond. So yeah, exciting times, and really excited to support these teams in bringing more functionality to the original kind of cryptocurrency ecosystem that is Bitcoin.
Thank you so much, Kendall. Great update, and I highly recommend following Proximity Network on Twitter for all of the great content they're going to publish, and AMAs, hackathons, etc. in January, to follow up on the latest developments, putting your BTC into work, utilizing chain signatures on the Near network. Next up, we got Fella Network. This is a project I'm super excited to hear from, and we got their co-founders Marvin and Hang with us here today to tell us much more about trusted execution environments. And I highly recommend reading their latest piece that they published, really great report on trusted execution environments, XAI, real code for real decentralized artificial general intelligence. It will get you up to date on what is cooking and what is to look for in 2025. So let me just go ahead and bring you, Marvin, and Hang to the stage. The stage is yours.
Oh, thank you. Actually, I'm sharing the screen. I'm not sure if we can show the screen. Oh, yeah, great. Thank you. Yeah, everyone. Hi, everyone. This is Murray. I'm the co-founder of Fella Network, and also Hang. He's another co-founder of Fella Network, and the CEO. He's the CTO. So we are both here. Very excited for the next moves of Near, and Near is one of our best partner ever. So TLDR. I'm here to make a short introduce about who we are and what WTF is TE and how it matters and value in crypto AI or decentralized AI. So the TLDR is TE is a technology short for trusted execution environment. So which is a system based on CPU and GPU security enclaves. So what it's doing is basically based on hardware security. It built up a system that can implement privacy data with confidentiality processing for the verifiable computing. So a lot of buzzword, but the fact is that TE system can provide partially trusted this security assumption with strong performance computation with confidentiality. So it means that you can dealing with the data or process in security in a secret, but in the middle you can verify it. So it's kind of like a technology between the level of 100% decentralized, on-chain processing and Web2 extremely high performance, extremely confidence, extremely centralized. So TE is kind of like the bridge to connect Web2 and Web3. So there are a lot of technology improvement in the past years. So include that a lot of developers are very familiar with Intel SGX, which is the first generation powered TE technology. But now we are already moving from there into the level in the paradigm report is called level 3 TE. So it means that now the new generation of TE system are basically based on Intel TDX and the SEV and NVIDIA GPU confidential computing. So those are the most popular chip manufacturers in the world. And but don't worry, our job is to make sure the Web3 developers are not vendor locked in some specific TE system, but more like we are building a TE system as a TE abstraction of these chip manufacturers. But the TLDR for the background of market demand is that TE is already widely used for decentralized AI industry, which include data collection, GPU, verifiable GPUs, data training, and model training, and model-based inference services, and AI agents. So this is, and each of these sessions from fun, we have previously case study and real work. So that's the foundation of our collaboration with Near ecosystem, because we all know that Near is very into AI, and Near is kind of like a full stack solution and full stack infrastructure for the decentralized AI and all just like AI building. So that's a perfect match. So I'm not going to go that into very deep, but I'm going to give a very short intro on how TE could work for each of these processions into the AI building. So let's go with the decentralized GPU. So many are very familiar with two very popular projects, LNet and Hyperbolic. So basically, these GPU infrastructures, what they're doing is they use the on-chain protocol to connect between the GPU providers and the GPU users, right? Like the users are paying maybe on-chain, and they have like the infrastructure to offload and offload the computation task into some specific GPU clusters. But what key matters here is that we can help the GPU networks to measure the computing you need with resources costing and dealing with the payment gateway. So basically, if you want to make sure the on-chain payment or the tokenomics is connected with how the GPU being used, and the GPU providers can't cheat, using GPU TE is a very good way to go to anti, not anti-snapper, but like anti-farmers with real work. So TE is work as a guidance for the tokenomic and computation resource costing measurement here. And then we have GPU radar, and then we goes into the data collection. So in AI space, data is one of the most important feature, because all of the model performance computation is besides the GPU computation power, it's also based on the high quality data. How much high quality data you can provide, and can you have some unique data set to make your model kind of outstanding of the space. So that's the key part. And we have some customers which they are using decentralized protocols to incentivize the people to provide high quality data or evaluation data feedback into the network, and then just use the power of tokenomics to incentivize them, so that we can build a barrier for high quality data for model training. But the most important thing is that you don't want to leak the raw data from user, and you want to keep this data in confidentiality, and only when the contract reader paying to the protocol to use this data, they have to follow the format or follow the SOPs of your solution, of your protocol to use this data. So basically, the TE job in this kind of system is to enable something like smart contract, to make sure the payer customers are using the right way to compute or process the the data. And in the middle, all of these data can be stored in a encrypted way to protect privacy from the user. So TEE is making a balance between user privacy, but in the middle can scale the value of data for AI use cases in here. And then in the AI space, of course, we come into a stage of model training. So this is an important part because you should we all know that for example, NVIDIA H100, H200 is a very popular GPUs, and they support. The reason why they support confidential computing is not because decentralized AI or because what we need, but it's built majorly for model companies like OpenAI and Anthropic and other companies for maybe enterprise level solutions. So what's the demand here is more about if the model companies are trying to train the latest model, let's say GPT-6, GPT-7, then they probably need to involve a lot of parties, including data provider, GPU providers, and a lot of like experts in each specific domain to provide evaluation. But in the middle, they need to keep everything not secret, but they need to keep the prompt, some prompt temperatures, the key factors inside these new models kind of in secret. Another use case is that where you are doing model training, you also want to track the contributions of this model. So with some use case studies, we work with other partners, we enabled the training session into GPU-TE to make sure each contribution for this model generation can be tracked and can be used in the future, and they can maybe even implement those into the on-chain verification processing. And we are super excited that we are working on this something with Near ecosystem to have this. And yeah, for this is I'll give the mic to Han later. So that he can share some details on the technical performance and how it works out. But in general, the performance is really good for model training. The final step is model inference. So inference means that how these applications and user or AI agents are trying to use the power of these AI models after it's trained. So in this part, it's actually our very kind of like classic solution. We connect both NVIDIA GPU TE with the CPU TEs who can drive these GPUs to make sure the whole model inference environment in the same security assumption between TE builder and AI builders. And in this kind of solution, we TE can work out a testation that you can basically verify. If you say hello or anything to some AI model, you can basically get a proof that this output from AI models is coming from a specific AI model with specific program. You can attest it, you can verify it. So I want to address a little bit more here because this is can answer a lot of questions why AI needs TE. Just imagine in our blockchain space, right? The most standard way how we build trust is using validations. So just imagine we can use 3 computers to run the same program, and if the program is working out the same result, or 2 of 3 result is the same, then we know, okay, this result can be trusted, right? That's a validation, DFT mechanism, which working with many blockchains already. But for AI, it's kind of not working like this because AI is generative. Even though you are working with the same program, it always gives the different result, even with the same person, same input. So you can't do validation, basically. How we can know some result is coming from a specific AI program, since it's generative. So that's the key challenge here. But using TE, no matter Falas or other solution, we can easily have the trusted attestation to prove that some AI computation result is connected with some specific model and connected with some specific data contribution or GPU computation if the full stack is using TE in each component. So this is the AI inference part, and we got some showcase. But I know that most people know Fala from Ibiza framework and the agent. So this is a kind of the application work how TE be already used in crypto AI. We built out a product called Spore that is like autonomous AI agents can breed each other to build up a civilization. And we also provide TE plugins for Ibiza OS so that developers can, after they use Ibiza framework to set up their own agents, they can easily implement that into the TE environment. And so the reason why we think we are very bullish in the AI agents with TE as the next features have two reasons. The first reason is the difference between crypto AI and Web2 AI is that crypto AI have serious power, no matter they're controller of money or they have the controllers of social media. So there are a lot of crypto AI agents using kind of have millions of followers. So all of the things they post matters a lot. It has serious impact to everybody's life. And another thing is they begin to take over the money, right? Like we used to trust the founder or just a smart contract to do things, and now AI agents taking more part, playing around on blockchain space in this. So when the AI agents are controlling more and more power, then it's essentially important we can prove that what is done can be done by AI and what can be done by the DApp and what can't. So we need to know this seriously. And the only way, the ready-to-go solution to solve that small issue, actually it's a big issue, is that if we can put AI agent to the box, then we can kind of monitor it, track it, and we can prove which action from this AI agent is find the reasoning, find the action and transparency logs, so that we can build a trusted channel between AI agent stack, AI agent software, and the community. So this is our goal in 2025 to make sure TE can be used to build a better crypto AI. But yeah, thank you for your time and taking a lot of time. Han, do you want to share a little bit kind of technical teaser to Near community?
Oh yeah. I'm not going to take a long time. Just a few a few seconds. So this is what we have right now. Oops. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, it's just a teaser. This is actually a project sponsored by Near Foundation. It's called Private Machine Learning SDK, and it's almost there. So in the upcoming days, we're going to work closely with Near to release this. So basically, we are going to allow anyone to put arbitrary model training or model inference code into this SDK. So you can run arbitrary workload in GPU TE mode in just a few minutes. So yeah, that's just my a few seconds tease. Thank you.
Also, we are all good here.
Thank you so much for coming on, guys. Super interesting to see what you guys are building, and I'm really excited to see what's going to come out of the private ML SDK. This collaboration with the Near Foundation. Yeah, super awesome to see in the Near ecosystem. Next up is David Miller-Durand, co-founder of the SIG Network, and it's a spin-out from Pagoda, founded by highly technical and doable team. David, please tell us what is SIG Network and how you plan to revolutionize the entire blockchain space.
You're too kind, Peter. First of all, like, I'm going to run through this at high speed because we're a tiny bit behind schedule. We are a spin out from Pagoda. We are the team that bought you Chain Signatures. We were called Emerging Technologies. And we decided to spin out and become an independent entity to focus exclusively on this. And I'm going to tell you why. Next slide. Developing across blockchains is absolutely awful. It's incredibly risky, it's incredibly expensive, it's incredibly slow. It's very, very lowest common denominator. And once you find yourself in another chain, you're very much a second-class citizen if you've gone through a bridge. And it mirrors the internet of the 1980s very, very easily, very, very clearly, because back then it was a bunch of tiny little networks that barely talked to each other. You couldn't build something like Amazon because you don't build the Amazon One network. You could go through gateways, but it's a pain in the ass. Things like email worked much in the same way that CCIP works. But if you tried to build anything high level or interesting, it just didn't work. So you couldn't build a web browser and you couldn't build HTTP. Next slide, please. So what solved the problem in the 1980s was the introduction of a technology called TCP/IP. Now, TCP/IP is a super simple piece of tech. What you do is you put in a number, and that number can represent a toaster in India, and you can be a web server in Switzerland, and it will directly send a packet straight to that device. Now, it's a simple technology, but to get everyone to use it and to make it useful, everyone had to be able to speak and understand it. And the way this was achieved was a lot of governments basically lent on device makers to force them to understand it and speak the TCP/IP standard. Now, in blockchain, we don't have that luxury. I can't force Vitalik to support Cosmos. I can't force Satoshi to support OP Superchain. And there's been a lot of attempts to do this kind of inter-networking ideas, and they've generally not worked well like TCP/IP. They're certainly not universal. So how are we going to solve this problem? Next slide. We're solving this using Chain Signatures. So Chain Signatures is an MPC network we built last year, which is currently connected to the NEAR network. And it watches a network. It checks to see if a signature has been requested. And if a signature is requested by a smart contract, it generates a signature. And what this practically allows every single smart contract to do is to speak ECDSA and EDDSA. So right now, we're very lucky in that every single chain can understand ECDSA and EDDSA, but we're going to make it so everyone can send those messages out and not just have it coming from one place, but allow every chain to talk to any other chain and talk back. When you have this technology working on both chains, it allows for calling a smart contract on that chain as easily as you call a smart contract on your own chain. This means you can transfer USDC on any chain. You can move a meme coin in Solana. And you can interact with any arbitrary application like you're a first-class citizen of the other chain. And that entirely gets rid of wrapping. You don't have to bridge stuff anymore. You don't do weird liquidity balancing because you just use the applications where you want to use them. We used to call this no one gives a shit about your blockchain, but this is really chain abstraction, which is to say you don't have to care about what chain you're using. Next slide. There's a lot of interop standards out there. So you've got your classic bridges. The problem with them is you're always a second-class citizen when you land. If the application you're talking to doesn't understand the bridge you're using, it's impossible to communicate with it, which leads to another form of fragmentation across chains. And then you have another form of competition, which is other signing chains that can sign. Now, the problem with those chains is they can only talk in one direction. So you can say, withdraw my Bitcoin, but you have no idea when Bitcoin's been deposited. So again, they have to lean on bridges, which are slow, expensive, insecure, risky, in order to do those kind of transactions. And what we're doing is, by having this bidirectional messaging, it allows us to act like one giant network containing every single blockchain you might use. Next slide, please. So we're much more comparable to someone like Avalanche or Superchain or Cosmos, except we don't have to ask blockchains to come and work with us. So while they have to pay tens of millions of dollars to get someone to build on Superchain, we can just say, great, we're adding chain signatures to Bitcoin tomorrow. Great, we're adding chain signatures to Polygon tomorrow. we're adding it to Ethereum tomorrow. And that's exactly what we're doing right now. Next slide, please. So we have a roadmap for launching chain signatures on various networks. We obviously launched on Near back in August. We're now in the process of handing that over to Bowen's team. Bowen's an excellent steward of this kind of stuff, and we're going to step away from working on Near so much. But what we're doing now is we've launched an Ethereum testnet, and we are currently getting our implementation audited, and then we're launching on mainnet in January. In February, we're launching on Base. Obviously, we're launching on EVMs, super easy because they're almost exactly the same. And then about every 3 weeks, we're going to be launching on a new network. That's Bitcoin, that's Solana, that's Sui. So they're going to have chain signatures the same way that Near has chain signatures today, but also they have the ability to send a message and get a signed response back almost immediately, which means you can build your application wherever you want, you can have your account wherever you want, and you can have your assets wherever you want, and they can interact with each other like they're all on a single chain. We're building a transparent network of networks that allows you to no longer give a shit about what blockchain you're using. Next slide, please. So that's pretty much it. We're live, we're on mainnet, we're running, we're audited. We're going to be absolutely everywhere anyone develops because we don't believe in building tech and trying to attract ecosystems to it. We believe in building tech and bring it to the ecosystem. It's much easier, it's much quicker. We can go to guys and we can say, keep developing exactly where you are. Here's the tech, have a good time. And yeah, we're ramping up. We're expanding the team. We have 15 open roles. So business development, marketing, distributed systems. We need partner engineers. We need everything under the sun. So if you're interested, because we have kind of done our one funding round, this is the only way you can get SIG tokens before we go live in July. So if you're interested in the role, please reach out because we need to hire an awful lot of people very, very quickly. And if you just want to chat, I'm going to be in Lisbon this next couple of days. And then beyond that, feel free to reach out with an email. Thanks a lot, guys. And I appreciate you giving me the time.
Thank you so much for coming today, David. I cannot stress how much I'm looking forward for the blockchain space to have a good time. And it sounds like you're going to have an even better time working with SIG Network. I highly encourage anyone looking for a job in Web3, or if you're already, of course, in Web3, to go ahead and apply with David and the team. They're great guys. And if in Lisbon, hit him up. Next one up, we got Escobar, a man who wears many hats, has many faces in the Near ecosystem, and today he's representing Ref Finance and Burrow. I'm gonna leave and let you do the talking, Escobar. Escobar, are you there?
Yeah. Happy
The
to.
stage is yours.
Okay. Should I click on present?
You don't have to. I can change the slides for you.
Okay. Thank you so much. Yeah. Hi everyone. Just a quick update on Ref Finance and Burrow Finance summary for 2024. On Ref Finance side, we have achieved 2.5 billion US dollars since January to December, and Burrow Finance total volume. It's a TVL have reached like 100 just during 2024. It's 155 million USD. And from Ref Finance side, we have been running like 8 meme season during 2024, starting March until December. Distribute approximately 2 million USD worth of incentives across this season, just to support all those TVL. Liquidity providers for the meme token in the Near ecosystem, aligning with all the narrative from chain abstraction to AI. Then Ref Finance DAO that has been restructured with new and fresh members. Previously, Ref Finance DAO take care by 7 members, and 5 of them have been replaced with the new members right now. It's some of them are the OG on Near, and some of them are also contributors or project founders in the Near ecosystem. Next thing is integrated Stargate and Wormhole as part of the bridge aggregator. Why we do integrate Stargate and Wormhole just to open more liquidity resources to tap into the near DEX and lending protocol, mainly USDC and USDT assets. But with Wormhole, we're gonna support Solana token as well, and also Ethereum token. Then the next thing is launching the DCL pool and also the Degen pool, just to bring more sufficient liquidity to the market, to the users, to the retail, and whoever want to utilize a deep liquidity and trading. It's very easy with Ref, and it's a really good experience and how we can share the revenue to the users. Then last thing is launching our Vault with our Ref 2.0. It's a new UI that has been updated in the November during Redacted. We launched our new UI and integrated the Vault system, where in collaboration with Delta Trade also try to direct users to do a looping strategy on how they can swap their token. They can trade with Gridbot or DCA trading on their NEAR token as well. Then they can simply supply as collateral, get stablecoin, and how to loop that strategy just in one place. So Peter, next slide, please. Yeah. The next thing for Ref and Borrow Q1 2025, there's three main things we are focusing on right now. Starting from January to March, BTC liquidity is the biggest focus, which is the initial liquidity pool for BTC assets, probably live in 1 or 2 weeks, working closely with Proximity and the Frontier team to run the liquidity pool for all the synthetic Bitcoin that coming to near. So user not just getting NBTC, but they can access all other BTC that we supported on top of near, and they can bring it to any other ecosystem. So we are utilizing all the chain abstraction features here, working together with Satoshi Protocol as well. Then the next thing is rebranding Ref Finance to Ria Finance, and merging the Ref and Borrow token is the biggest and the main thing that we need to do in this Q1, just to make sure that there is higher valuations, and also bringing the new narrative to the market, utilizing all those blue chip assets, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, through chain abstraction. Then AI is not part of the strategy yet right now, but we want to tap into the non-smart contract chain as much as possible, just to ensure that they know they can get the best experience with the looping strategy with Ref, Borrow, and all the ecosystem product. Last thing is blue chip assets liquidity pool. So it has been highlighted just now with Wormhole integration, and probably once Omni Bridge live, and working closely with Satoshi Protocol, that help us a lot to bring all those other blue chip assets from other chain or either LST as part of the liquidity pool in near, and user just can trade on top of near instead of going to other ecosystem, or even trading Bitcoin with one single Bitcoin, trading Bitcoin with only one single Bitcoin wallet on top of near or Ria Finance in the future. So yeah, that's all the exciting stuff for Ref and Borrow.
Thank you so much for coming on, Escobar. Stay up to date on everything that happens when Borrow and Ref merge. I think it's going to be one to watch out for. Ilya already went through some of this, but I just really quickly want to restate some of the stuff, because it's been a remarkable year, 2024, and we firmly believe that 2025 is going to be even greater. So NEAR protocol is a top protocol for real-world applications with millions of users, and it's the top L1 by user retention. To add to that, the Near network has never experienced an outage, even during major protocol updates. We saw a massive increase in stablecoins, and we saw the upgrade of the protocol, the largest one to date, Nightshade 2.0. And this is the biggest protocol upgrade since mainnet and introduces stateless validation. The Near protocol is truly positioned to the future of the blockchain space, and especially the future of decentralized AI. On top of that, we've seen the AI Accelerator together with Delphi Labs, and more than $50 million have been raised. Bunch of great products and projects launching, and Near is now fully ETH wallet compatible, which is another move towards the chain abstracted future. As we keep stating, Near is the blockchain for AI, and as Ilya also stated, we are experiencing a paradigm shift towards AI plus blockchain, and Near is uniquely positioned to lead this AI future first. We must ensure that AI stays open source and is shared by all rather than controlled by a few mega corporations. It also must preserve privacy and sovereignty, and it should be free to use, yet monetizable and sustainable for its builders and developers, a mission that Near AI is taking on it. So in May, we saw the Near Foundation announce that it would focus on user-owned AI, with co-founder Alex Kiranov leading R&D. At Redacted in November, the Near AI was launched in alpha with an app.Near AI, a research hub building a 1.4 trillion parameter model in a fully open way, and Chat.Near AI, a user-owned AI assistant that can act on the user's behalf in both Web 2 and Web 3 by connecting with other agents and services. And yes, it did launch a meme coin by itself in November, not January 2025. Lastly, the Near AI ecosystem includes more than 50 top AI teams across research, infrastructure, data and storage, models and applications. Fala Network is a great showcase of this, and I cannot state again how bullish I am on their private machine learning SDK that they'll be launching. Much more of this stuff will be going out from Near, as Near is truly building the decentralized AI full stack. A key part of the vision for AI is about abstracting the specific blockchain's elements away from users. And users, we believe, on Near will primarily act with agent-driven interfaces across the entire web. So the chain abstraction that Near is leading will enable agents to seamlessly deliver a range of finance, commerce, and degen types of experiences on the user's behalves. And some highlights from 2024 that are making this possible is, of course, the launch of chain signatures, which enables smart contracts to sign transactions on any blockchain, which is live across mainnets for chain using ECDSA, with EDDSA coming soon, what David Miller was just presenting on behalf of SIG Network. Then we had Near Intent, which is a new transaction type on Near, allowing information, requests, assets, and actions to be exchanged between AI agents, services, and end users. And Intent basically lets agents interact with each other and complete actions across Web 3, Web 2, which will form the basis for the next generation of the internet. Lastly, we've seen one of the most bullish partnerships, in my opinion, Infinex, which was founded by Synthetics creator Kane Warwick, which aims to abstract away UX challenges and complexities at the core of DeFi. They recently acquired KeyPom, one of the, if not the leading project on Near on frictionless UX onboarding. And they'll be integrating chain signatures and Near Intent to bring Infinex even closer, or if not, to feature parity with centralized exchanges. I hope this town hall gave you all an idea of what is happening in the Near ecosystem. Near is full speed ahead in January, building an ecosystem for autonomous agents, enabling agentic commerce, developing TEE infra for verifiably private inference, and hosting monetizable models. A roadmap will soon be revealed by Near AI, And from that day, countless updates and products will be shipped every week. The momentum, is already starting. And actually, apparently, ELISA is already running multi-chain swaps on AI16C DAO using Near Intent. And Near AI and Frax are teaming up to build truly autonomous agents using Near Infra. 2025 is the year of blockchain for AI. I guess everyone noticed by now. Yeah, AI is by far the largest, has by far the largest mind share in the crypto space, if not in the whole world. And we believe this focus for Near is the best way to ensure that the future of the internet is owned by more than a few companies and supports sovereignty for users. We will make sure everything we do levels up to this mission and help founders and builders understand why they need to be part of it and support them on their journeys. Near Protocol is at the forefront of decentralized AI and making blockchain technology accessible and intuitive. There's a clear vision and concrete steps towards achieving superior open source AI and a seamless blockchain experience for all. So dear Near friends, with a steady grind and elite execution, let's keep showing the world what the Near ecosystem is made of. Near Week is hosting these town halls every month, and as it's very important to us that these town halls are a platform for the community, please share if you have any feedback. And if your project wants to comment on the show what you've been up to lately, please don't hesitate to hit us up either on Twitter or Telegram. Everyone, keep up the good work, keep working the trenches, and make sure to help each other out. We're extremely impressed by the Near community. 2025 is going to be our year. Lastly, remember that none of what has just been presented and said should be construed as financial advice. As always, do your own research and subscribe to Near Week if you want to stay up to date on everything that moves Near Protocol 24/7. Bye, fellas, and have a great January.